Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Kayla Jax with Ride a Tire. I am going to go over my new bike today, doing the infamous bike check. And yeah, let's get started. Let's roll. Her name is Lana, by the way. Yeah, I named them. I name my bikes just like I name my cars. So Lana is a Guerrilla Gravity GG. She's a 2018. This is the Megatrail. Obviously they have a really great lineup, but the Megatrail was my first bike and it was also my second bike. Little back history, my first one was rear-ended on our North Shore right after a ride on the back of a Jeep, and she died. So did the North Shore rack. So this is what I get, and I'm super stoked because it's just a little bit of a step up in a few places. The travel on the Megatrail is 150, 165 millimeter. She is the Lambert GG Special Edition color, so nice and gray with the baked-in decals. So they're baking in their decals now versus just stickering them on, so longer lasting, more durable. I did just pick her up last week and haven't ridden her yet, don't judge. My measurements, just so you know, I am 5'2", so I'm a shorty. I'm about 110, 115 pounds, and fully kitted, I'm about 120 pounds. This is an extra small frame. Their frames do run slightly bigger on average. I went from the Pike on Meg, which was my former Megatrail, to the Lyric. It's a 160. And I'm running about 34 PSI in there right now. Obviously, again, I'm pretty light, so. And what I'm super stoked about, which I don't even know, this might be out of my league right now, but I'll definitely catch up. I got the push on the rear now, and the push is way more complicated than my former Monarch Air. This one actually has two valves, and if you know anything about push, you know that you basically set it at push, the manufacturer. You set it with your weight and your riding style. And they do everything for you. You pretty much don't have to touch it. 18 months to service it. So once it's good, it's good. For 18 months, you send it in, they'll take care of it. And it actually has two modes, so you can't see, but on this side, there's a lever. Mine is set for climbing in valve 1 and downhill or trail in valve 2. And on each mode, you can set the high and low compression. So for downhill for me, I'm at like 20 clicks on the low speed from fully closed, and on the high I'm about 15. Then on the trail, we are low speed 4 clicks, high speed 10 clicks. You can do any mode that you want on these valves. Just tell push kind of what you're looking for and you go from there. Rebound is set here at the back, and the rebound is set for both modes. So you can change modes independently for high and low, but the rebound sticks for both. And I'm about 10 clicks from fully closed on that. I did go with black liquid, obviously, considering the color scheme that I have going on here. Proper sag setup for GG. They recommend, for me, they recommended a 200-pound spring, so I have a 200-pound Cane Creek on here, and it's tuned to my 120 fully kitted self. They recommend for about 28 to 30% sag, and I'm right about there given the kinematics of the Megatrail itself. Newer is the internal routing for your dropper post cable, which is super slick. They also included on the actual frame the nuts, the necessities under the saddle spot. This gives you a little area to strap your tire, your tools, whatever you like to strap to your bike here. Here we have the Freedom Linkage component for Guerrilla Gravity. You hear the term America everywhere, and that is in relation to the Freedom Linkage. Freedom, America, right? So what this does is basically allows you to have a trail mode and a gravity mode, so trail to downhill. By moving the bolt here from your shock, it drops your bottom bracket, makes the bike itself just a tiny bit longer, and is just more conducive overall to downhill. I haven't played too much with it, even on my previous bike. I often thought maybe my weight didn't make the difference. However, on this bike, I think I'm definitely gonna give that a whirl and see what it's all about, particularly in conjunction with my 11.6. Seat post is the Lev Integra. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that. Lev Integra. It's 125 millimeter seat post. What's awesome about the GG extra small frames, so for little people, have no fear, there is an answer. You can fit 125 millimeter. I was on a roll! This is Carl, the shop cat, and that's Ben, Hipster Gravel Co. This frame at an extra small can fit 125 millimeter dropper post. Most of them cannot, if any others that I'm familiar with. Obviously that's not that many, but doesn't matter. So saddle, this just comes with the Guerrilla Gravity, the SDG. I was on a Lasai Diva Gel for women beforehand, and while I really enjoyed that because I didn't have to wear a chamois, there was just enough cushion there, the profile of it was fairly wide. So I'm gonna give this a shot, and obviously need a chamois because I've already sat on it. Definitely need the help. But I like the low profile, lighter weight than the Lasai. Am I even saying that right? I don't even know if I'm saying that right. We'll call it the Diva Gel. So we'll see how that goes, and I can report back later on that. So our drivetrain, yippee skippy. So I am learning a lot about my bike. I've only been riding for a couple of years, but I'm learning a lot, and this is one of the most confusing parts to me. I know it should be like the most simple. I had the GX on my Megatrail, which was an 11 speed at the time. Now I have since moved up to the GX Eagle from SRAM, which is the 12 speed. My cassette, I'm running a 10 to 50. Chainring to keep with the cranks is the Race Face narrow wide 30 teeth. Same thing as what was on Meg before. I didn't go any higher than that. Crankset. I went carbon. Why? Because I can. Really no other reason. I'm not a pro rider by any means, but why not shave off a couple grams while you can. Race Face, next ours, they're their newer carbon cranks. They seem cool. I put some boots on them to protect them. I was told if you do carbon, you better put some boots on there, so I did. And in terms of pedals, I kept my Saints on there. I really like the Saints. I ran some Atlas for a little bit. I like that the Atlas are a little flatter, flatter profile, but the Saints for me have been just fine. And I'm flats. I'm horribly afraid to clip in. So again, don't judge me. I am also running an MRP AMG alloy chain guide, because why not be safe, right? Better safe than sorry, they say. Moving on up. Brakes. I was on guides beforehand, and while they felt great because I knew no better, I have a lot of issues with pistons and bubbles, in my lines, so I'd lose my brakes quite a bit. They weren't the best. One would be wonky, one's great. Okay, fine. So I decided to just try the XTs. If you have any input on whether you like guides or XTs better and how to fix those problems, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. In the meantime, I'm going to give the Shimano XT 8000s a go. According to the rumors, there is less brake modulation in these. However, the stop and go and reliability of the Shimano XTs is supposed to be pretty good. So more modulation in guides, but easier to bleed, number one, on XTs, which I've already done, and that was super easy. And they're a little bit more reliable. So the bar and stem here, I went from a 31.8 millimeter at 750 wide. Now I am on the next R carbon, 35 millimeter, and they are at 760s right now. So the lowest that these can go is 750. So I figured that I would give 760 a shot before I cut it any farther, because obviously if I go too small or whatever, it's too late. The stem here is the Effect 35, also from Race Face. This is a 40 millimeter stem versus what I was on previously, which was 50 millimeters. So I'm curious to see how that feels. And I have two 10 millimeter spacers with a 2 millimeter spacer, so about 22 millimeters here. So I'm hoping that I will get a little bit more stiffness in here, a little bit more control, and obviously, lightweight. I had the NV RSR on there before, also carbon. So it's just going to be different. It's going to be a good experience. Grips, currently I have the SDG Slater grips on there. This basically comes from Guerrilla Gravity. Beforehand on the Meg, I was running ESI Chunkies, and I really enjoyed those. Although with the Chunkies, I could ride gloveless. These ones probably not so much, but we'll see how those go. So I'll just have to report back on that. So now we have our wheels. Super excited about that sound. That is the i9 Industry 9 hub. And I just think that it makes you sound faster, and in turn it should make you go faster. So we'll see how that works. But it's a good experiment. I have the Industry 9 Enduro S wheel set on here. Rumor has it super durable. I didn't have any issues with my DT Swiss beforehand because, again, I'm pretty lightweight. I don't bang up my rims too much. And my, my wheel set in general stayed pretty nice. I tightened some spokes here and there, but that was it. So curious to see how that goes. Tires, typical setup for a lot of people. I'm running the Aggressor on the back. Again, it's 27.5, 2.3. And I just love the stickiness of these tires. I haven't gone through too many tires yet, too many different tires, but as soon as I put the Aggressor on Meg on the last Megatrail, I fell in love with it. I wasn't going anywhere. My climbing felt better. I had more confidence in my turns, which we know I'm still working on. So, Aggressor on the back from Maxxis. Again, exo casing actually. Exo casing here. I don't need the double down. I'm not that harsh in terms of going over sharp rocks. Front tire is also Maxxis DHF. The Minion exo casing. Again, typical setup for a lot of riders. Yeah, that's about it. And they're both on the right way. I'm not trying to run tread backwards. Okay, cool. And of course, I have my sweet Mucky Nuts fender, my mud guard here, because I value my stanchions as well as my face. And I made sure to equip it with our wonderful Ride a Tire logo sticker. If you need one of those, go ahead and grab some supplies online and we'll get you a sticker. Okay. Lastly, if you are curious about the weight of the Megatrail extra small frame that I have built up here, it is about 29.4 pounds. I don't know if that really matters. I think that, I was borrowing a carbon Mach 6 before, while I was waiting for her to be built. And that felt awesome. I was climbing like a champ, so I thought. So this is definitely going to be different. Climbing might be a little bit more difficult, but I don't know that makes a difference. I think the stronger you are, it's irrelevant. So yeah, that's Lana in a nutshell. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe to our Ride a Tire YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram, ride_a_tire. If you have any questions, remarks, or just want to tell me that you think I'm super cool, you can leave that in the comments. Thanks to Bicycle Experience, our local bike shop here in Colorado Springs, for giving us the space to work with. Our garage lighting wasn't the best. And thanks to Hipster Gravel Co. for being here to open the shop and guide me through this and tell me, when I sound stupid. So, cool. Happy riding, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.